Well, is there a possibility of a solo career in this kind of thing, or is that out of the question, or is that a possibility?
It's definitely not out of the question.
Okay.
Well, Ian, the principal trombonist, has a great solo career. He's put out several CDs and tours all over and does different things. The time restriction would be the biggest thing for me at first, just because there are lots of commitments with the Philharmonic and the opera orchestra as well.
Right.
And I don't know, it would be kind of an interesting thing to pursue, and I'm definitely interested in doing some solo work. That was probably my specialty, really, before all this happened, is solo literature. So I would be interested in that in the future, yeah.
All right. One thing that's not related directly to you, but I'd like to talk to you about, so often when there's budgetary concerns in a school district, the first thing that seems to get cut is music and drama. And I guess I would just like for you to think, if you talked about that first experience in 6th grade, where your talent was first discovered, you might say, and then of course you pursued it in Nashville. I understand that. But what if that weren't there? What if that hadn't happened? Wonder where you would be. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't be here. I know that. I wouldn't be getting ready to do the career that I'm doing. Music is cut a lot just because people look at it and it's not one of those tested subjects. It's not one of those you can't sit down on an ACT test and do a music test, or there's no TCAP test for music.
Exactly.
And so
Right.
It's, even though it is considered by most boards of education, state boards of education, as an academic subject, it's treated very often as an extracurricular only kind of activity. Every school district in the country basically has budgetary constraints and concerns, and so it is always an issue, and music just happens to be one of those things educationally that has to fight for its life basically every year.
Exactly.
But at the same time, if you don't have a school music program, it is possible to succeed. Even if you don't have a very strong music program, it is possible to succeed, just because the main factor is being able to work hard and practice. And practice rooms everywhere are the same.
Okay.
So.
All right. I guess I have a few more questions, but before we leave that, do you have anything that you would like to say to the budding musician out there who perhaps is in 6th grade and they're playing their trombone or whatever the instrument may be? What kind of advice would you have for them if they really think that that's a possible career for them? What should they do? What's your advice to them?
Practice.
Practice. I kind of knew that's what you were going to say.
Well.
Yeah. It's important.
All a budding musician really needs is a good work ethic and a joy for what they're doing, a love for music, and there is a component of talent in there as well. But with enough practice, and the other thing is support from your parents or support from somebody. There has to be an outer support structure for not only financial things and buying instruments and equipment and things like that, but just, get in your room and practice. You need to. And the support, knowing that everything you're doing is supported emotionally by somebody, that's huge. So to a budding musician, I would say practice as often as you can. Realize that it's not going to be great the first year, or maybe even the second year, or maybe even the third year.
Wow. Okay.
Every year, but music is the sort of thing that is a direct return on your investment. The amount of time you spend in the practice room, the amount of time you spend on the instrument, every second of that helps you get better.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, just a few more questions that I have for you. When will you be leaving?
Monday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Monday the 30th. We're heading out. We got a direct flight from Atlanta to Vienna. So.
Wow. All right, so leaving out on the 30th. And now, this may be a hard question to answer because everything's kind of fluid, I would assume, but how often do you plan on coming back to visit?
Well, at least twice a year.
Okay.
We'll get the first 3 weeks of July off every year, and then also hopefully around the holidays we're planning on coming back at least twice a year.
Okay, and again, it's hard. It's probably hard for you to answer this question, but is this something where 20 years from now you'll still be with the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra, or is this a 5-year thing, or is it just so fluid you're not really sure?
You know, it's hard to say.
Okay.
I mean, I can stay as long as I want,
Okay.
but I don't know that I will stay for, you know, like 20, 30 years. At the same time, I've kind of quit making plans for my life, because if I followed the plan that I had, I'd still be in Texas right now working on my master's.
Right.
I never planned for any of this to happen, so I don't really know where the next few years is going to lead. Our preliminary kind of idea is to stay over at least a few years and then kind of put our ear to the ground and see if anything back home is opening up, or we can get back across the Atlantic.
Right, right. And as we said earlier, this is really something great to have on the resume.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, well, Jeremy Wilson, do appreciate you joining us
Thanks
this
a lot.
morning. Again, I know it takes effort to get out here this early, but again, do appreciate it. Wish you all the best, and maybe after you've been there and you come back, maybe you come back on the show again and kind of give us an idea. And I also really like the fact that in our audience, you know, school hadn't started back, so hopefully there's some young people out there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, Jeremy has done this. He, you know, born here in Warren County, raised here, and going to do fantastic things, and that could be you too. So anyway, let's take this commercial break. We'll be back with a lot more, so stay tuned.